welcome back. We are having our episode of 1379B of our Ultimate Decades Challenge, and we have arrived here in the home of the Lykke residence. This is little George Lykke here, and he has a birthday. He is going to be aging up to become a toddler, and we are going to need to give him a roll to find out if he is going to survive. As toddlers, they can't roll a 1, 4, 8, 12, or 15, so we will be rolling to see if George is going to survive or not. So let's go ahead and age him up, and then we will give that a roll. So let's jump into Cass and age him up. So as you can see, he was a cautious infant. As a toddler, George is going to be adorable and have an easy temperament. So let's go ahead and give him his little makeover here. And let's pull up our dice and give that a spin and see if he is going to be able to survive his spin. So if we give that a roll, he rolls a 15, which means he is going to die. So if we roll a d4 to see how long he's going to die this year. All right, so we are going to have to kill George Lykke. Let's go ahead and see what it is that he is dying from on our infant, toddler, and child death wheel, and we will find out what is killing little George here. Oh my goodness, he was crushed by a cart. All right, so we are going to go ahead and we are going to have to kill little George here, which is so tragic. As we know, George is their heir currently, and their only heir. I am going to go ahead and have Mackenzie and Carly try for another baby. Oh, she's currently already pregnant. Never mind. I was going to say I'm going to have her try for another baby because I don't want them to be sad and not be able to try for another baby since he's the only heir, but she's currently already pregnant. It looks like she's actually in her third trimester in 16 hours, so we will be having a baby with her fairly soon. So let's go ahead. We're going to have to kill our little George here. We're going to kill him by overheating and see if that works. I've never tried to kill a toddler by overheating. Oh, it does seem that works. Okay. He just aged up, and they're like celebrating his age up, and now he's dying, which is like just the most tragic thing of all time. And obviously, Mackenzie's going to be super sad about the fact that his heir is dying. The whole family is going to be distraught over the loss of George, but we are going to unfortunately have to lose him. I am just going to look and see when he was born so that we can go ahead and engrave his epitaph, and we will take a look at that, and we will be able to obviously go ahead and engrave that. But it's just really, really sad that this is kind of how these turn of events have come to play out. So George was born in 1377. He is passing away in 1379. Super sad. I just hate this for him. Look at everybody. He's just so sad. He also was the only birthday that we had for Part B. So we hate that. Let's engrave this for 1377 to 1379, and we'll go ahead and we will let Mackenzie take the tombstone over to the graveyard, and we will have him place George in his final resting place. All right, we have made it to the cemetery. We are just going to go ahead and place George's plot down here on this row. And then we'll go ahead and we'll send Mackenzie on home. Everyone is terribly sad over the loss of George, and that is just, I hate that so much. I really do. So he's going to go ahead and head himself off home now that he has placed his son in his final resting place. Super, super sad. And we are going to go ahead and update our timeline here. We are deceased now in April of 1379, and he died by being crushed by a cart. So George is no longer with us. And on the timeline, we'll put that George Lykke died. All right. So that has been all updated here. And we hate that for him. We really, really do. And I wish that weren't the case, but unfortunately it is. And now we are going to, after he gets himself on home here, we will continue on. We're going to head over to our main household, and we are going to see how Jonetta is getting along now that she is on her own without Xavier, since he has gone to the war. All right, we have arrived here in our main household. We're just checking in on Jonetta and seeing how she's doing. As we know, she is in her 3rd trimester. She should be giving birth at any time. So we are expecting a little one here in the family. I'm hoping for a son because, as we know, this family does need an heir. And I'm hoping that her little one does survive. She is just playing a little bit of chess, but I am going to have her go on downstairs. I do want her getting some cooking in. I'm going to have her clean out some spoiled food, and then I'm going to have her start making some food here just because we do need some things that she can cook. So we do have some fried fowl that she can make. It does look like there's only enough for a single serving, but there's just the one person, her, that's here. So I'm going to go ahead and get her to make some fried fowl. As we know, Florence can't eat the table food because she's still only an infant. So it'll be fine that she only is making a single serving, and that will work out pretty good. So we love that. So she's just going to clean up a little bit, and then I'm going to have her cook that fried fowl, and we love that for her. And that'll get her cooking skill up a little bit. And then once it gets a little bit later on into the day, I'll have her go on outside, and she's going to need to take care of some of the animals. Obviously, the cow will need to be tended to, and we'll need to tend to the chickens and even the horse. And so she will have to do that. I may have her check on some of the gardening, and we may even send her out foraging a little bit later to see if we can get some new things now that it's a new season. And we'll have some things that we can plant in our garden for the summer season if we go out foraging for some new things. So that'll be really nice. So I will be having her do that. And then at some point, hopefully she'll go ahead and go on into labor, and we'll be seeing her give birth. So that'll be really, really nice. So this is just part B of 1379 that we're going to be going in on this episode. And then we'll be having another episode for part C and part D. I am breaking this one up into 4 parts just because I didn't have enough time to break it up into 2. So I'm breaking this one up into 4 parts. I will probably go back to doing 2 parts for 1380, but also 1379, as we know, is right before we have another change of the decade. And so after this year is up, we also will be having new photos that we'll be taking, and we'll be getting us an updated new banner. So that's going to be really exciting. After we have all of the changes for this year, we'll have us some new family portraits and a new banner updated. So I'm really, really excited to see how our families have grown and changed from 1370 to 1380, and I can't wait to see how that has changed. She's just enjoying herself a little bit of this fried fowl, and then I'm gonna have her go ahead and go to the washroom, and when she's done with the washroom, we'll go ahead and get her out here and let her collect some eggs and then scatter the feed. And it doesn't look like the coop needs to be cleaned, but we do need to clean the shed for the cow. And then she can go ahead and start feeding the horse and scratching the neck and, you know, take care of the horse here. So she's going to have a lot of things that she's going to kind of need to get done here. And Florence is just up here really sad because she's tired, but other than that, she's kind of in an okay mood. So once she's done with her chores, we'll have her come up and kind of take care of Florence a little bit and tend to Florence some. But as we know, it is just her, so she does have her hands really, really full here on this farm, and there's a lot of things that she has to do, and I don't know. I kind of hate that. I really do, but I don't know. I think that this is going to be the longest 5 years of her life with Xavier gone. So we did get some eggs, which is great that we can go ahead and put in the fridge. So we'll put those in the fridge, and she is just going to go ahead and let me go ahead and just put that in the wash bin. And we love it. She's even got some manure here. I'm just going to sell that. We love that. So it does look like Florence went ahead and went on to sleep there. So she's getting a little bit of much needed rest. And once Jonetta has finished with her chores, we'll have her go up and wake up Florence. And then she can feed her and take care of Florence a little bit. So I'll have her come up and just kind of wake her up and take care of her. But first she's going to go and finish taking care of all of the animals because they need to be tended to first.
Squidgy. Oh. Oh. Nubunese.
So she's just feeding the horse here, and then I'm going to have her go ahead and take care of the cow, and then we'll take her up and she'll deal with Florence. So let's go ahead and clean the cow and feed the cow, and we're going to milk the cow, and then we'll go and wake Florence up, and we'll give Florence a little bit of a feed. So that'll be fantastic. Jonetta's feeling really, really happy. So even though she is, you know, a little bit concerned about how she's going to make things work at the farm, she's realizing that, you know, she doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but she is learning a lot now that this is all kind of on her shoulders. And so she's like, I'm doing the best that I can, and she's feeling like she's kind of handling this pretty well. And she's feeling pretty happy about that. She's like, I think Xavier would be really proud of me for all of the hard work I'm putting in on the farm. And, you know, she's proud of herself for that. And I'm proud of her for that because, honestly, she really has no idea what she's doing. But she's giving it her best effort, and she's doing pretty good, if I'm saying so myself. She's doing pretty good. All right, so we're going to have her go in now. She's going to go and wake up Florence. And we're going to give Florence a little bit of a bottle feed, or a breastfeed, I guess, probably. And that way we can make sure that Florence is fed. And then once she's done with Florence, we'll go ahead and send her out foraging and make sure that everything is taken care of as far as her going foraging and seeing if we can find some new things for the season. So that will be fantastic. So she's just like, good morning, Florence, you need to wake up, mommy needs to feed you. And so we're going to go ahead and give her a little bit of a feed here. Florence is like, why did you wake me? I was sleeping so good. And mom's like, well, I had to wake you because you're you know, in need of being fed. And so I've got to do that. So we'll just give her a little feed here, and then we will put Florence down in the crib.
Chankina. Wasu Mini. Chankina. Chumcha. Yesla.
And then we're going to go ahead and head out to go and do our foraging. And then when she gets back, we can maybe get her to harvest some things that are in the area. Oh, and Florence has learned how to laugh. We love that. All right, so Jonetta's just going to head out. She's going to go ahead and go foraging now. That will obviously send Florence off to daycare because she can't be home alone. But we're going to take her out foraging here, and when she returns, we will get her to do a little bit of foraging in the area, or as harvesting, I guess I should say, in the area of some of the plants. All right, so she has returned, and let's see what she got. So she did get some cherries, she got some onions, and she got some acorns. So as we know, the acorns can obviously go in the fridge, and we are going to just go ahead and take a look and see if we have onions in our garden. We have blueberries, spinach, sage, basil, carrots, and raspberries. So we are going to go ahead and plant an onion, and we love that. So I'm going to have her come and plant a onion there, and we do need to plant a cherry tree. Maybe we'll plant one there as well. So the remainder of the food I'm just going to put the onions and the other cherries in the fridge, and then we'll sell those bluebells that she got. So that's fantastic. And then looks like she needs to go ahead and go to the washroom and get herself some food. So we'll let her go ahead and do that. Okay, go to the washroom. Before you pee yourself, please. Preferably. I have a hankering to tinker with something. You want to come fiddle at the rocket ship at GeekCon. GeekCon is not a thing, so no. Alright, so she's just going to go ahead and go to the washroom, and then I'm going to let her get herself a little bit of a bite to eat here. There are some leftovers in the fridge, so we'll let her get something to eat, and then we'll let her get herself a little bit of rest because she's feeling a little bit tired here. So we'll let her do that. And then we are going to go ahead and just see how time progresses here, and if she goes ahead and goes into labor. What is that? A honey cake made by Juliana. Mushroom. Okay. Looks like she's decided for some onion soup, which we love. Maybe you can clean up a little bit before you go to bed. She's feeling super playful, which is great. We love that. All right, she cleaned up her dish, but now you need to clean up the rest of the dishes. Maybe you can also clean up this dish, and then head yourself on to go take yourself a little bit of a nap because you are feeling pretty tired. You know, usually Xavier would have spent a little bit of time with the horse, like more frequently than just like first thing in the morning. The horse is, you know, probably feeling a little bit neglected, if I'm being completely honest. But there's not a whole lot that we can do, in the sense that Juliana just doesn't have a lot of time to be catering to the horse constantly throughout the day, like Xavier did. Xavier spent most of his time outside with the animals, and we just don't have that kind of time. All right, so she's just going to go ahead and get herself a little bit of rest here, and then when we get her up, hopefully she will be able to go into labor there, and we'll have that baby. Look at her just getting, you know, all happy here. Florence is actually really, really cute. She takes after her dad quite a bit, and the horse is feeling really scared. Why are you so scared, Potatoes? But Potatoes can't eat on its own, so we love that. Why don't we go ahead and get you up, and you can go out here and make sure that this stall is filled. Let's go ahead and refill this feeder, and you can clean this coop. That way you can take care of some of the animals here. And Florence has learned to grab. Okay, we love that. How is Florence? Florence is okay. All right, good. All right, so she's going to go and handle up on some of the animals, and then I'm going to send her off to the washroom. It is about 5:39 p.m. in the game, which does make it about June of 1379. So we're well into the year here. I wonder if she can upgrade this. Oh, it already does. Okay. I was going to say we need to upgrade that to be an auto feeder, but it looks like it already does that. So that's wonderful news. All right. Great. So she's just cleaning up, taking out the trash, and then I'm going to have her go to the washroom, and then she's going to go outside and clean that horse bed because it's feeling a little bit grunge. Feeling a little bit grunge is a little bit grunge. So we love that. And then I'm going to have her go ahead and get herself something to eat. Soon she's going to need to go ahead and feed Florence again. And I do believe she's probably, going to go into labor soon. I would hope that she's going to go into labor soon and that we're going to be able to have this baby in part B. I was actually expecting us to have more babies because we had so many Sims that were actually pregnant right now. But it would seem that we're probably going to be ending up having babies in part C as opposed to part B. And just part B is not going to have a whole lot going on other than, us trying to make it through with her and adjusting to life without our husband and him being at war. I still am in shock about the fact that Xavier rolled and had to go to war. I was not expecting for that to happen, and then we totally ended up having to see that take place. So I'm really just shocked about that, if I'm being completely honest. And it was not at all what I was hoping for. So I'm just going to have Florence come on up here, and she's going to have Jonetta come up and wake up Florence, and give her a really quick feed. We have gone into labor, so I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to feed her really quickly, and then we're going to have our baby. And it does look like we also have someone else that's gone into labor. So we have 2 people that have gone into labor right here at the end of this episode here. So we will quickly do our births, and then I will wrap this episode up. So we're going to have this baby, and then we'll hop over and we'll have the other baby, and we'll see how everything goes with that. All right, Diana, I will come see you. Just give me a moment. All right, so we are going to go and we are going to have our baby. Okay, Jonetta, let's have this baby. Let's hope it's a boy, and let's hope that this baby survives, because I really, really want this baby to survive. And it is a boy. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and open up our wheel for baby names for boys, and we are going to go ahead and give that a spin. And we are going to name this baby Benton. So this is Benton Arundel, and we did have a single birth. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to be rolling for mom and baby. So let's go ahead and we will pull up our dice, and we're going to give that a quick roll for mom and baby and see if they make it. As we know, mom can't roll a 1. Mom rolls a 1. Oh my gosh. You have got to be kidding me. And there's nobody here to oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to have to bring Diana over here and let her plead for Jonetta. And baby needs to roll. Oh my God, I'm just all choked up. Baby needs to roll a odd 8, 10, or 20. And baby is not going to make it. Baby rolls a 12. So let's go ahead first and foremost, and we are going to put the baby isn't going to make it on the timeline here. So we are going to put here that Benton Arundel has passed away. And we will take the baby from mom. Let me put Benton on the info tab. I'm just shooketh. I really am. All right, let's do a row below and let's grab the info that we need for this baby. And put that here. All right, so this is Benton Arundel. He was the son of Xavier and Jonetta, fifth generation male. In June of 1379, he's deceased in June of 1379, and British descent, and a single birth. He's stillborn. All right. So we will take the baby away from mom, and we are going to also go ahead and I'm going to bring Diana into this household. We're going to have her plead for Jonetta, because if not, then Florence is going to have to go live with, I was going to say she's going to have to go to the orphanage, but I may let her stay with Diana until Xavier either comes back or until something happens as far as the war goes. So we will have to see how that goes. But for now, we are going to take Benton. Okay, Diana, we're coming. We're going to take Benton away from mom here. So Benton is gone. And let's go ahead and move Diana back into the house here for now. Okay, we are back in the home here. I went ahead and moved Diana and Roger both into the house. We are going to need to take Jonetta now, and we're going to kill her. I will obviously be pleading for her. I hate that I have to kill her in the first place, but she did roll a 1, and that is the name of the game. So we are going to kill her. And then I'm going to have... and then I'm going to have Diana come and plead with the Grim Reaper for her. Diana is in labor, by the way. So we love that. Diana's having a baby. Okay, can you come and plead? Oh my gosh.
Oh, say yoga. Oh.
All right, Diana, this was not good timing. Diana had a girl. Let's go ahead and we will open up the wheel for baby names for girls. And we are going to give that a spin really quickly here and see what we're going to name Diana's baby. All right, so we're going to name Diana's baby Edith. So let's go ahead and name her baby Edith. Edith Goodwell. Okay, and she's had a boy. Let's go ahead and pull up that wheel and give that a spin. All right, we're going to name him Dunwine. All right, honestly, I'm really scared right now that we're about to lose Jonetta completely because no one can go and plead for her. I am freaking out. You need to come over here and plead for her. Or you, somebody, somebody needs to plead for her. Can you not chat with Diana? Come and plead with the Grim Reaper. All right, he's gonna come and plead. He doesn't even know Jonetta, but he's gonna plead for her. And the Grim Reaper said no. Probably because you don't know her. Oh my God, Jonetta is truly gone. We have lost Jonetta while Xavier is at war. This is horrible news. We also have to roll for Diana and her babies. So let's go ahead and we will roll for Diana and her babies after we have figured out when Jonetta was born so that we can engrave her epitaph. Jonetta was born in 1362. I don't even know what to say right now. I really don't. I'm just shocked that this is happening. I am just, seriously, I don't know what to say. And we're also about to enter into the third portion of the year here, into part C. All right, so we have officially killed Jonetta. She was born in, like I said, 1362 to 1379. And I will give her tombstone to Diana. And let's go ahead and get Diana up. Why can I not get Diana up? I don't know, but that's fine. Let's roll for Diana and the babies. So where is the other baby? Oh, way out here in this. Dunwine's way out here. Okay. Well, let's roll for Edith and Dunwine and for Diana and see if they're going to make it or not. So if we pull up our dice, as we know, Mom can't roll a 1. Diana rolls a 9 and survives. Edith needs an odd 8, 10, or 20. And Edith rolls a 3 and survives. And Dunwine rolls a 4 and does not survive. All right, let's go ahead and head over to our timeline and we will update all of this information. So first and foremost, we are going to update that we have killed Jonetta. So she is deceased in June of 1379. She died from childbirth, and so she's deceased now. And then on our timeline, we are going to put here that Dunwine Goodwell died. And we'll put that Edith Goodwell survived. And Edith Goodwell is going to age up here. And then under here, we will put Edith Goodwell, the daughter of Roger and Diana, 5th generation female in June of 1379. Edith is alive. She is of British descent and she's a twin. And then we have Dunwine Goodwell, the son of Roger and Diana, fifth generation male in June of 1379 is deceased in June of 1379, is of British descent and a twin. All right, and we will have to go ahead and take Dunwine away from Mom. So let's go ahead and take Dunwine here. And let's just go ahead and take this crib while we're at it. And we will take this baby and get it aged up. So we have now Diana and Roger here at this main household taking care of little Florence and Edith. Florence is the only person of Xavier, like the only baby of Xavier's right now. Xavier is going to have to remarry when he comes back from war. And so yeah, we don't have an heir, and our heir is at war, and we don't even know if he's going to make it. And if for whatever reason he doesn't make it, we are going to have to see who is going to be our next heir. So let's hop into Cass and give Edith her makeover and get her photo for the family tree. And let's go ahead and get her photo for the family tree. All right, so I am done here. That is it for this episode. We will, like I said, have to figure out what we're going to do with this whole heir is away at war. We have no male heir aside from Xavier. He is at war. Diana possibly could, her family could take over this, and if her and Roger, that is a possibility. They could have male children. We can see about that. Or it could even be the Meshrams, because they actually have male children. So we'll have to see who is next in line. I'll have to take a look at that. But I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in our next episode of the Ultimate Decades Challenge, where we will be in part C of the year 1379. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.